the virus.
Viruset, the series,
Did I not
or the
watch
virus,
The virus.
the series.
2020 predictions.
Yeah.
Whoa.
It's an unknown series we did when it comes to death films. When it comes to Mirrorsun history, it's among the most famous stuff on the channel. But it's all in Swedish. It's supposed to take place in Sweden, and so maybe that's why it's never really been a bigger thing than that, you know, because, you know, I guess it's for the Swedish audience of our very small audience. How it all began is actually from a Emilio Game Show episode, which actually has nothing to do with games in that episode, but it's the one episode where me and David team up, which is about, like, it's like a horror thing.
I was about to say, are you fucking serious? Is this where this is from?
It's the one where you go to the haunted school. And
Yeah.
What?
So, it's a very weird episode. The school we went to has like a ghost story. I don't know if it's true or not, probably not. But you know, just like a random school rumor. And I guess we would decide to do 2 episodes about it where we're like ghost hunters. I guess we had like a creepy vibe with some like music.
well, it's because specifically the Halloween theme song was in it.
Oh.
And Emilio decided to show it in school because of the fact that it was based on the school legend.
Which we probably shouldn't have, thinking about it.
But the teacher legend.
They let us show it to my class, I guess. Then one of my friends in that class was inspired by it and was like, oh, I want to make a zombie movie with that music in it.
Huh.
And then I think the very same day we came here and filmed it.
Huh.
Yeah, the first one was done in one day. I remember because I was sick that day, but I was in the house and Emilio showed up and said, hey, can I get the camera? And then I think they ran downstairs and then they filmed that in probably an hour. And then they ran up and like, here you go, here's the footage, let's edit it right now.
And that's why you weren't in it, because it was really unplanned and we just filmed it the same day.
This was in early February 2011.
And that story is just pretty much on like, you know, it's a virus has spread out, there's zombies, there's no real explanation why.
It opens with like a news anchor, but then the camera from the news camera turns into the camera of the short film. Sir, there's a virus coming in, we have to run you down to safety or something, and then in that moment the zombie attacks and then the camera follows you guys. And you're in the bunker and you're surviving.
I think we showed it, the first Viruset at school as well. That's where we like got its own like following from our school, like people from our class plus the other classes at school were like, oh cool, Viruset. People started watching like through YouTube as well. So we had kind of from our school a following of the Viruset movies. And that's where we made the second one, which is Viruset, the reinforcements. It was more planned and we got more people into it. And that's where one of them is David. And it's just the continuation of the first part, which is literally the first movie ends with them getting reinforcements, and this is about those reinforcements getting to those soldiers, because the first movie is about them being stuck in this place, have to survive, and they're waiting for reinforcements.
Oh yeah, that's
and
right.
This is the story of those.
The second movie takes place at the same time as the first one. So, So yeah, that's fun. And then the third one continues after they have met.
So all the people were literally just like class friends, and the masks, and like we didn't have any like zombie makeup, so we just put on like whatever like skeleton masks we had, or like different like Halloween costumes we had. I would say that's what gave it its own style.
Yeah,
because the zombies were so different from, I guess, other people would make their own zombie movies, you know. Like we literally just had scream masks and skeleton masks, so they're like kind of a demon zombies or something. And that's where you play a character which has like no mouth.
They say he has like a thing over.
Because it's all in Swedish, and David didn't want to speak Swedish, so
David is a silent assassin.
Yeah, he was like the cool, like
masked and being mysterious.
That doesn't speak.
Sound familiar?
Yeah.
Does it?
Shadow.
Oh, I don't know.
Oh. And then we made the third one, which is like the culmination of the 2 first movies, because then all these characters meet up in the end of the second one.
Yeah, we upgraded the camera on that one. I don't know exactly what happened, but we took the camcorder instead of the old. It was some sort of a photographic camera. It had the setting you could film with, and the sound got worse and worse because when we're editing on Movie Maker, you can only apply 1 layer of sound at a time, right? So at first we added all the sound effects and then exported. And then put it back. Yeah, you put it back in.
The quality became worse and worse.
And the sound levels got muted each time. So if you look at them on YouTube, you're gonna be like, what? I can't hear a thing, because you had to like have it on max volume.
But all the stuff is in Swedish. I don't think there's any subtitles either. So I mean, you could just watch this video and you have seen it all, I guess. The third movie is just literally them taking on, I guess, the zombie base, and apparently blowing up the zombie base kills them off.
Yeah, I think the third one had a lot of good highlights.
Third one is just literally just action. It's just them shooting, just like a shootout, pretty much, just fighting zombies, waves of zombies. And the best part of that movie is, I'll say, the ending. It's when David's character like sacrificed himself. I'm not really sure why, but he's himself fighting off the zombies with his sword, and then like he rips off his mask before he blows up.
And he says a classic David line, which is,
do you remember?
Fuck off.
So,
well, sort of.
Okay.
oh, and I remember because like the other classes were like, you know, in the same year group or whatever, had a break, and they went past our like classroom, and the door was open. I remember them like standing outside, also looking at like the finale with David fighting them off.
Right.
And then when he says, you know, like his last words before it blows up, I remember everybody like, oh fuck, and then you know it's like the explosion. And people like, shit, Viruset 3.
Good to know you guys are hot shit in school.
People had a lot of fun, and especially Emilio's friends in class. They're the ones that really, you know, pushed these onwards. I mean, they were the main ensemble cast.
Viruset 4.
Cut to October 2011.
We filmed it in the summer, right?
We started in September, actually, but I think it was done by October, late October.
Okay. Viruset 4 was our most, at that time, ambitious project, because it takes place 100 years into the future. The fourth one is literally a rip-off of Alien 4, which is also funny, which is 4 and 4. Because in Alien 4, you know, the aliens are dead after Ripley sacrifices herself in the third movie, and then they find some DNA left or whatever, and clone it and retake it, and then it spreads out inside a ship in the fourth movie. Well, here it spreads out inside a bunker, like a big underground facility. We went for like a weird, like yellow, like supposed.
I'll tell you what, it's a reference to the movie Gattaca. Gattaca takes place in the future, but every time we're outdoors, the sky is orange. So that was like the way to visually communicate this is the future.
And it's about like these soldiers that get assigned to like be guards in this underground bunker. You know, it's like a military research facility or whatever. And then they're creating the virus again, and they're trying to weaponize it.
So it's called Virus Resurrection.
Just like Alien 4 Resurrection. Yeah. So it's literally the same plot.
It's also like the story of the general realizing his mistake, and he's the one that stays behind at the end this time. And then the main character, of course, gets annoyed at the other military people. They don't want to help. So there's a bit of comedy there as he's trying to call them. He says, you know, I gotta go ride my Porsche instead.
Yeah. They're asking for help, and the general outside is like,
And this is where we also introduced the idea of like the zombie leader virus, that it could be like leaders within the zombies.
Yeah, like
because we were inspired by like Land of the Dead, that type of idea. That is one guy leading the charge.
And that's where David's new character comes in, which is the descendant of his previous character.
Dr. Sergei Ziga.
Yes.
Yeah, you created a new virus, or you like researched the one that spreads out. So technically, the fourth movie is your character's fault. Like,
well.
But that brings it to the fifth movie, which I guess we'll soon get into. But anyway, pretty
Virus
much
4 was a success, I'd say. It was at the time.
we didn't show it at school because at that point I don't think the school was tired of us showing off our shit, and I don't even know how we got away with doing it in the first place. What do we even do at school? Like, I think because we released it so much later than the third movie, everyone that was into it watched it, and I think that's where Viruset died off. People watched the fourth movie, they liked it, and that was it. That was where Viruset should have ended.
I guess it was that idea of like there's a trilogy, you finished it off, and then you kind of like you kind of came back for like a greatest hits, and then it was like alright, but I get it. I think that's the way people felt about it.
Yeah, I think people liked it because, you know, it was still something new. We added, you know, like the new effects. It was like bigger, more people fighting, and you know, people enjoyed it. But after that, I think, you know, that was it.
Hell, even the people making it didn't really want to.
We wanted to go in a more serious direction with it. We wanted to take it to the next level of more drama, more psychological stuff and actual real horror elements. These were sort of fun in a lot of areas. There was a lot of comedy in there, and people could go around and mess around on set, as it is. So when we're taking it to like a more serious direction, people didn't feel it was as fun to be involved anymore. And I think that's what happened, because all of us actually got ideas for at least 3 more movies, and I'll tell you which movies they were. It was the 5th one, The Spreads, the 6th one, Battle Lines, and then the final one, which would be The Virus Origins, tying it all together that way. Okay. So that was our plan for like the next trilogy.
Oh my god.
Yeah.
I don't remember this. I know just that after the 4th one, most of us felt the story was over. That we had, of course, we had ideas, but I think we just like grew tired of zombie movies, kind of like making zombie movies. The 5th one, for example, I feel like more was you wanted to make it than I feel like the most other people.
because I want to reignite the idea of those original story plans. The survivors of the bunker out in the wilderness, as they are trying to find their way back into the society, they're going through this paranoia and this fear of are they infected or not, and with the surviving scientist, and he's slowly turning into a zombie. So we go into like his mind as he sees visions of death, speaking to him. Yes. And then he becomes a zombie himself eventually, and then we see that perspective.
Well, that's what happens in the 5th movie. Is David's character, you escape in the 4th movie from the base, and then in this one you turn into a zombie, and it becomes like a psychological drama, more like about him like going to terms with being a zombie, I guess. And then I play a character trying to like find your character and like solve the whole virus problem, I guess. The 5th movie was literally just the 3 of us making it. Mm-hmm. We had no other outside help because people were tired of, I guess, Viruset, and I think most people maybe grew out of it. We have, for example, an action scene where it's supposed to be like a big fight, where humans like the last military defense fighting against zombies attacking a city, and it's just me and Pauli when we have the cloning effect. Yeah. 3 of us on screen, and then the zombies, you can see us looking at the camera, like trying to like, are we in shot or not?
Mm-hmm. I was telling you this before, but you can see a clear difference whenever there's a scene that's like a drama scene with like David and his change into becoming a zombie. All those scenes, like you can tell those scenes are better filmed, better helmed, and just better thought out in general. But when we go to the action scenes, you can clearly tell every time it's like camera being set up like in the corner, and we're just trying to do our thing, and like Emil said, constantly looking to make sure that are we in frame or not.
Yeah.
So that made it really a frustrating experience, because we wanted a lot more from this, and we thought, hey, we can start filming some scenes and we'll show them off to people, and that way we can get them on board again. But each week that passed, one more person said no to returning. That's what happened, basically. So in the end, it was just me and Emilio. Not even David showed up for the last scenes. So
No,
David didn't show up for the last scenes. So it's actually Emilio playing a double role as David's zombie.
Huh. Oh, don't remember.
we're gonna fucking
No,
throw
if you-
David
no,
under
if
the
you
bus.
don't- no, if
on
you don't-
screen.
No, it's fine.
Fuck.
No worries.
No, but
Throw me
still.
under the bus. I don't mind. I don't. No worries.
The point being is that in the end, I think I was doing shots completely on my own at a point, just like some.
Just probably.
Well, I feel like
It's
it
crazy,
was
yeah.
you wanted to make the movie, and no one else really wanted to be what I remember. Like, it's eventually the movie ends with David's character like somehow sacrificing himself to stop the virus. I'm not sure how, but he dies, and then my character lives, and then I get killed off by the military trying to hide it all, pretty much.
Mm.
But the idea was that why there's more movies, if this is supposed to be the end of it all, was that you can't defeat the virus, it's always gonna like return or whatever. So like it ends with me becoming, my character dies even though the virus should be done for. I'm becoming a skeleton, and then it's back.
The ending was changed slightly because we took out some elements from the proposed 6th movie, Battle Lines, and sort of weaved a little bit of that into the ending of Virus 5. That's how it ended.
What was Virus Origin supposed to be about?
Imagine like Prometheus, but like with the Viruset version.
Okay.
And David being like the scientist or something. And something like that.
That
Like they go
was-
into like a cave and find things.
That was pretty much the Viruset movies. A well-received trilogy by its small fan base, but still an actual live fan base. And then the 4th one you know, it was kind of a fan service kind of movie, you know. Fifth one, more of a psychological, you know, both because we couldn't get enough people to do it, and, you know, we did what we could do with it, so.
It was our Joker.
What Viruset did was...
I ate a cucumber.
It put us to a different next level in thinking of, for the next project, which was supposed to be Clank, Nemesis.
I think this is the very first movie where I guess we all realized we're doing it more seriously than a hobby / joke.
And that's where we realized we had to find people that wanted to see this as their also, I guess, future. So that's why it's important, this Viruset histories, because this whole stuff shows the change from just something for fun and then teaching us, oh fuck, we have to adapt.
Yeah. Yeah, when you realize you're on your own with a camera stand and nobody else around, and like, okay, we gotta reach out.
Why didn't we, at some point when we felt like it was time to make more, did we make more? Why wasn't like a day of saying, like, you know what? It's been a year. Why don't we make Viruset 6?
Well, because we moved on to Nemesis, and I think the next year we did Agent Recruit, so we got kind of stuck in Clank.
That was
since with them we haven't just looked back.
Well, I guess because Viruset ended on like a half open wound. So
if we would do it
part 6.
No, I think if we would do Viruset now, we would do a remake. Like we wouldn't. This wouldn't be canon. We would make something new.
Maybe starting from various origins.
Because I think also if you look at timeline wise, this is 100 years into the future, which would be very hard to keep up with.
I mean, you just go for the sake. You just say the world hasn't evolved for shit because
the world
has been attacked by virus.
First of all, I don't know how to do like if the zombies should still keep the same vibe. If you want to make it seriously, maybe you can make up, you know, all that stuff.
I think you'd have to sort of have that design for the zombies, but they would have to be practical effects, you know. So
that's pretty much it. Thank you for watching.
I mean,
if you want us to make a Viruset movie, comment below. If we get more than 5 comments, we'll make one. Thank you. Cut.
Hi, Inca.
Okay.
Abo, please comment.
No.